First I want to say thank you for joining my session. Please scan the QR code if you want to win a conference ticket. I will tell you more about that later. But first, it's a black screen. That's perfect. Sustainability, black screen is good. So that's something we need to know. I'm already saying it a little bit. What's wrong with here? If I do this, it's like... Yeah, indeed. So I'm just going now to the next slide. If you look at design, if you look at front-end design, you need to think about dark mode. So we need to toggle the dark mode. So this is already much better. But the next thing is there's also something else wrong. Can someone see it already? Like what's wrong with this slide? The green, indeed. Everybody think about green code, and green is actually not good because there's a lot of toxic in green. So it's a little bit weird that we call it green coding, that kind of things, because green is mostly not good. If you see green stuff, there's a lot of toxic things in it. So we need to change the colors. But then there's something else wrong, like emoticons and that kind of things. That could also be better. So what we can do is remove the images, because if I get the images, I need to download it and that kind of thing. So we also need to remove that. And then also you are more at the context. So your front end is killing. So we need to improve our front ends, our applications. Yeah, there are certain energy patterns if you look at websites and also backends, but now I'm talking like more front-end related stuff. There are some stuff like patterns you can follow. So if you are a front-end developer, there are certain things you can think of, like dark UI colors, retry, Wi-Fi is better, that kind of things. There are things you can be aware of, reducing size of things. If you have an Angular package and the package is like a lot of MB, that's not good. It needs to be like reduced a lot, and that's better because it's going over the line, and some CPU need to process it and that kind of things. So energy patterns can be useful if you're a developer. Most important question is, what's in it for me, or in this case you? There's a law incoming, or actually it's already there, and we need to comply with that. There are green software principles I'm going to talk about, and CO2.js. The timing is not truly correct, it's some more, but I will also give a little demo, taking some time. My personal experience with green coding, or like I need to do something in our industry, was this video. And this is a video of like 2 minutes. And that was my personal reason to think about green coding, because we're living in only one world and we need to do something about it. So there will be sound.
This is you. This is our homes, our cities, our lives and livelihoods. And this is climate change. It's here. It's happening right now. People sometimes wonder, what will happen in Europe if we do nothing, if we let global warming continue? Each year, an additional 50 million people will be exposed to high wildfire danger. Heat waves will cause 90,000 more deaths every year than now. Over 2 million more people will be flooded in coastal areas and river floodplains, while annual flood damages will rise to 300 billion euros. There will be major shifts in ecological domains throughout Europe, with alpine tundra seriously contracting and almost disappearing in the Pyrenees. Droughts and water shortages will impact southern regions even more than they do now, affecting farming, crop yield, energy production, and public water supply. What will happen if we act? If we limit global warming to well below 2 degrees, How will people, the economy, and ecosystems in Europe benefit? 2/3 of the increase in people exposed to high wildfire danger would be avoided. 2/3 of the increase in deaths from heat waves would be avoided. The impacts of coastal and river flooding would be more than halved, and stress on ecosystems and habitats would be considerably lower. The drop in water resources availability and drought losses in southern regions would be halved. And if we also adapt to climate change, we can reduce impacts even further. Adaptation can have long-lasting benefits for our people, economy, and our ecosystems. Our study illuminates the importance of the European Green Deal, putting climate action at the heart of our long-term strategy, and while Europe is committed to be climate neutral by 2050.
Yeah, this was my personal reason I was watching this video. I was thinking like, hey, can't we do something about it? We are always complaining about the aviation industry and that kind of things, but why can't we do anything in our own industry? So that's something we will look at now. Hi, my name is Turk. I'm working at Code Lab. I worked just not now anymore, like a week at the Rabobank and now at Code Lab, and we are organizing Fox Days, Amsterdam. So I'm really excited about that. This is my dream come true. And we're going to do that with very special speakers like Josh Long and that kind of things. But check the website if you want to know more. Why are we doing this? Why do we need to consider sustainability? My question is to you, who's working for a company that have more than 250 people? Can I have a raise of hands? Okay. Who have more than a revenue than 50 or 250 million even? Still some. So some people are already raising up their hands, and if you have more than 250 people, you already need to comply to a law. And that law calls the Corporate Sustainability Reporting Directive. A nice word, but what is that? That's a sustainability report. Like we just have a financial report, you have also a sustainability report. And that's to be more transparent to our customer what we are doing if you look to green things. So that is actually pretty good to innovate, I think. And yeah, green IT will be more and more, I think, at the foreground. We are like checking always aviation. We need to do something about it and that kind of things. But what I said, we also need to think ourselves, how can I contribute to sustainability? What can I do? There's a philosophy behind it, and that's called the green coding principles. It's already like renewed kind of, but I like this slide because it says like you need to think about 8 things. And that's like you need to think about your carbon. It's number 1. The energy you are using too. What kind of energy? Is it solar or wind or that kind of things? You need to think about your hardware. You need to think, am I going to run on the cloud? Connections, if I have thousands of connections, that's also not very sustainable. If I can do the functionality inside my own application, then you can, yeah, then it's sustainable, of course. Number 7, on certain times you can execute a batch job, for example, in the afternoon when there's a lot of sun and that kind of things. And number 8 is monitor. And number 8, we are going to check that, how we are going to do that with our front-end application. I already talked about it. It's, yeah, we need to think about carbon, energy, solar, hardware, cloud, less connections is better, certain times, and the monitor, what I said. I created a triangle, end user, data center, network, your code. And yeah, we mostly think like, hey, we make the most impact on our code. That's our, like we are developers, we're thinking like, hey, the most impact we make in our code. But actually, it's the opposite. Like the end user, if we can change the end user, that's better. And then you have the data center layer, and then you have a network, and then we have our own practical code. But if we change that, like times 1 million users or less or more, then you can stretch it, and then you have more impact. Like if you're working at a big company like a Rabobank or ING or ABN, then you can see like you have minimal 1 million users a day, then you can make an impact. Like that connection call to the other side of the world, maybe I don't need that. And then you already benefited 1 million times. It's like caching a certain call, and then you don't need to do it 1 million times. It's already like a big advantage. And this is really cool, a website carbon.com. If we go to that website Carbon, and Josh Long, who was in the talk of Josh Long? One? He was talking about a website that was pretty bad. It was not sustainable. And he's coming from America. He's a great guy, a great talk. And he said, like, yeah, the CNN, that's not good. And this website is pretty bad. So I was thinking like, hey, just load it, and then it's already taking a lot of time. Now I have it already cached, so it looks like it's very quick, but it isn't. But there's a website Carbon, and you can measure how green a website is. And then I was thinking like, yeah, let's measure it. Let's look if he's right. And then you can calculate it. Interesting. This maybe another time. And now it's checking at the side how clean it is. So the website of CNN is not very clean. And he was absolutely right with that, Josh Long. So normally you have between E and F, that's global average, that's not good, actually. But this one was even scoring lower. This was, I think, even almost the lowest, but that I've seen. So we can, think about this thing, and you can test your own website. I think that's, it's pretty nice. It can be also pretty boring here, like you see. What it's also doing, and that's also, I didn't show that, is if you look here, you can also see like, hey, are they running on a data center that is green? Probably not, because there's red in it. It's also possible that you have a website like Google, and they are saying that they are really green. So let's test it. It's only one image Google, so that's not completely fair, but you can see that they have a rating of A. And also they're running on sustainable energy. So less pictures in your application or website is better. Reduce your size is key. If we think about front-end, then we think about NPM. Like with NPM, you can install the whole world, kind of. Who's, by the way, a front-end engineer? Because I want to know my audience. Java? Who's saying that he's full stack? Oh, almost, 80%. Nice, that's good. You have Maven, and you have NPM. It's kind of the same other technology, and you can also import all kind of dependencies in it. And NPM is one of them. Think about your dependency, what you're installing. You need to be secure there, right? There's also something else that's called PNPM, and that's more sustainable. We all use NPM, but actually you have a better variant that is putting the artifacts also on your machine and do it with references. And it uses soft links in the node modules, and it stores the artifacts in a global store. So you don't need to get it all the time. And that's pretty nice. And you have it also in Yarn and that kind of things. So that is already a save. Huh? But we are going to talk about CO2.js. And CO2.js is an open source JavaScript library where you can monitor your emissions. And that's based on the byte size. So you need to know, there's a model, that they used, and so you have a data center and they're monitoring everything what's going on that data center. And then they divide it by the bytes. So, and then you have like a kind of average, but it is saying something about your application. So it's not perfect. So you have all your apps, websites, software, it's measuring. So you have different modules there. CO2.js calculate amount of grams of CO2. You have different methods. I will show you in a minute. You have two models, the SWD model and the 1 byte. And the one is calculating the whole chain, and the right is calculate the emissions over the wire. And how does that see it? So this is the 1 byte model, so it's only checking the things on the byte. So that's a model that they are using. So the data center usage and the network transfer, so that is monitored there. But you also have the whole chain. So that's the data center usage, the network transfer, the end user device usage, and the production. So that's checking the whole chain. We are going, I already created an application, React, with Next.js and Mentine, or Mentine, I don't know how you need to pronounce it, but that's a component library to make a nice applications, nice visible location. TypeScript is also a good choice. If you look at the usage of energy, if you look at the front end, TypeScript is a safe choice. Also with JavaScript, but I'm a Java developer, and also just said like, hey, TypeScript is better, and you can, yeah, it's a little bit more close to Java, and that's why I like it more. What I said, React components library you have, and yeah, we are going to use that. So we are going to measure the average of the Netherlands, for example. They have a library, and you have the average there. We are going to check the host. Is the host green? We are going to check per visit how many CO2 grams you're exposing. We are comparing to cars, so that's a little bit funny that we can see where we can drive with only the changes we are making. So we are going to do different things, and then you see how long you can drive. And also what it says, like if you have 10,000 views, or the images and the videos, what they are doing. So a little demo here. I prepared an IntelliJ project. And it's containing, what I did is an NPX. Clear. What I did is an NPX, and then you can create next app, and then I want to have a TypeScript and with JFall, that's the title. So this I already did. I don't want to do it here because I don't know how the network is, so I already did. What I also did was, wait, maybe we can, yeah. I install the latest React, the library. Can you see that there? I think so, right? Yeah, okay. Yeah, the types that I want to use for in TypeScript for the Green Web Foundation, and I use some hooks and Mentine for the components, and Axios to a call to the backend. So what I did here is creating an application, and it's just a page, and it's one component now, and that's called average. And if we look to the average, then you can see, like the Netherlands, you have an average. So I want to know, like, what is the average consumption if you look to the CO2. So what I can do here is I can import the average intensity from the library, and I can use it here, like the NLD. And then you have the average of the Netherlands. I'm using a node this time. Yeah, you can do it different ways. Where is it? Here. And then we have the average of the Netherlands. So I create a component here, and you can see like what kind of exposure we have, like if you look to the CO2 emissions. There's also a website, that's by the way interesting, that's called the electricity map, and you can see how other companies are doing. Like if you look at Poland, that's pretty bad. But if you look to the Netherlands, we're okay. But in France and the North, they're doing great. And I was also thinking like, hey, how does America looks like? It looks like a lot of red here, so that's not good. Yeah, so you can see it all here, and also the change. So that's also interesting in the upcoming 4 years, how that's going, because sustainability is important. So yeah, we had the average here. So for Belgium it's different, and for Poland it's different. But we're doing okay, can be better. We're doing good with solar, but you know the drill. What we also can do is, I have here a function, and you have a hosting library. And at the hosting library from the Green Web Foundation, you can also check a domain. So what we can do is check google.nl, for example. I need to enable it because the component I have in comment. So you see here the host. So here you see is localhost green, and that's true. And that you can also do with your own application. What website Carbon, for example, did, you can also do that. Check. We also know what per visit. So if I visit a website, how much grams of CO2 we expose there. That's here. So what we can do, we have emissions. What I did here is just yeah, some text in it. So there's some text elements, and I just show it there, and some data to put it there. So there's a model, what I said, the sustainable web design, and you have a method per visit, and there you can measure what it does if you have it, for example, 1 million times. I just do it now 1 time. But if you see here, like, hey, the total produced is now this, but that's with the whole, I need to restart node, but yeah, if you do it more and more, then you see it growing. Yeah, and if you do it like times 1 million, then yeah, you know what it will happen. It will be like even more, so it's already expanding a lot here. So there you can see it. But we are going to compare it with cars. Then you can also actually see it, what it means, a change of us, like reducing a size, what that do with sustainability. So what we are going to do is a comparison, and one personal car. And we, again, using the model, the SWD, with the emissions times, just do it like, yeah, 1 million times. Yeah, let's do that. I restart it, and I need to enable it here. I add again the comparison. The other side, and restart it. Then you can see already, like, hey, I can drive. Like if I do this like 1 million times, I can drive with a Toyota hybrid, I can drive like, yeah, you cannot see it maybe, like more than almost 9,000 kilometers. So yeah, you can see that like our website, if you improve it, you can benefit from it. But the most interesting thing is like the compression. And the compression is a simple file, a PNG. It's a jfile.png, and that's just an image, and that's a big image. So what I can do now is we have a PNG, and again we check it. It will be loading. Take some time because it's a large image, and it's just an image from a conference. And you can already see, like, if we load this 1 million times, then I can drive sometimes around the world. Like it's almost 50,000 kilometers that I can drive with a Toyota hybrid. And a hybrid is like even less than 150 grams. So if you change it to JPEG, that's a simple change. Oh, sorry for going the wrong way sometimes. JPEG. And I need to restart it, otherwise it contains also the old values. So let's restart it and look what it will do. Like with a simple change, I compressed my image now. It's going from 50,000 to 10,000. So with a tiny change, what you can do as a developer, you're already saving a lot of energy there. Like I can now drive 10,000 kilometers, so I don't waste extra energy with just showing a JPEG instead of a PNG. Of course, you want the best quality, but on the eye, mostly you don't see it. So if you change it from PNG to JPEG, it will improve your website. So well done. Yeah. There's also a web store you can use in Chrome, and that's called the Green IT Analysis. And it's pretty cool because also just by installing this plugin, you can watch what this website is doing. So what we can do is going to this website and see like, hey, is it really bad? In the developer tools, you have a Green IT button or a tab. And you can launch the analysis. So again, you see here like, can I do this? No, of course not. Oh, you can see it pretty okay. But what it's saying is an eco index of 50 and the water consumption and the gases emission. And it's eco index D. So that's not pretty good. And you need to think like, hey, what can I improve here? So if I look at that website, we can look here for the application. Where is it? Network. It's already cached, I think. Oh, that's a pity. Oh, yeah. But what you see mostly is yeah, the images. You see a lot of images, and that's not good. You see a video. Mostly that's from YouTube, so that's less. That's mostly compressed. And you see also the images. So you need to think about the images and reduce those sizes. And that's helping a lot. So we talked about front-end, but I'm also a back-end engineer, mostly saying that we are full stack, right? But there are also plugins. If you look at the back-end, there's Ecosona. Who know Ecosona? Only one? Yeah, I expect it from you. Who knows PMD? The Apache PMD. And then you have some plugins there also for SonarCube. And if I go to Ecosona, it's a GitHub and it's having the rules there. So you can install this plugin to SonarCube and it's checking your application. I will show you in a minute. And also for PMD. And that's actually from a colleague from me, but mostly sustainability is hand in hand with performance. So if we look at performance, yeah, you can also think green. Like it's mostly hand in hand, not always, but yeah, that's pretty cool. So you also have some Sonar PMD rules. And that's from an old colleague, Rabo colleague for me. And yeah, you can install this plugin. And it's also doing checks on your code on performance. But the benefit is there, that's also mostly more sustainable. So less reducing size and that kind of things. And yeah, so mark this one because it's really nice. So yeah, SonarCube, what I said. Yeah, this white. Do we have a dark mode here? I didn't thought of that. that should be a sonar queue. It should be default, right? You can now see it already with your eyes. It's really not good and not what you wanted, but they also have some eco code rules, like avoiding global variables and that kind of things. Keep it small. Those are small enhancements, but if you do this 1 million times, then it can make an impact. If you do it only one time, then it doesn't need to have a big impact. But yeah, you know the drill, right? How more you're doing, how more the impact. And with Switch and that kind of things. And you can also do that with React. So on your React application, you can also do certain checks. Maven. Who's using Maven? 2 years ago, I was talking here with a colleague and I asked who enabled Maven caching. So I'm going to ask it again, who is using Maven caching? One? Can you? Like, always if I talk to people, then they don't know what Maven caching is. Do you know what Maven caching is? Can I have a raise hand? A few? That's caching your artifacts. So if you're building your project and you need to wait, for example, like 10 minutes, and the next time that you're building it again, it takes a lot of time, so you're already consuming 20 minutes. And with caching, it is reducing it to less than the 10 minutes. So the second time, you're, for example, 2 minutes. So it's reducing your build time, and it's pretty handy. And the only thing what you need to do it locally is enable it with build extension, and that's it. You have a question? Yeah.
Do you mean using your local Maven?
Yeah, this is for local indeed, yeah. So for local you can do this, and it's already saving. I had a build that was consuming like 20 minutes, and we enabled this, and the next time it was like 2 minutes even, or less. What it does, they are checking like, what did I already build? So it's checking like, hey, this I already built, but hey, this is new, I only need to build that. So that's already saving you a lot of time. You need to think about certain steps. You can also add it in your pipeline, so everybody can benefit from it. That's even better, but that's mostly more an hassle, because that's difficult, because you need to have an artifact server where you save everything, and with a big organization, that's difficult. So, but locally it's like only adding this, and you already have a lot of reducing your pipeline built there.
Why do you say it's difficult with a big organization? You think it would be easier with a bigger organization?
Yeah, I don't know if you, with a bigger organization you need to arrange a server. Yeah, it was never easy with me, but yeah. But if it's easy, if you know the process, then probably it is. Or you have a platform team that is already like, know that.
Bigger organizations, companies, or usually you have some IT departments which arrange this for you.
Correct, but they also need to test a newer version of Maven, and then that newer version of Maven is not working with certain projects, and they say, yeah, it's not working for that project. First, they need to improve their.
They need to migrate and improve.
Yeah.
Maintain their own infrastructure. That's true, but
Yeah.
they usually do.
Yeah, it was not my experience. But if you have a good platform team, or it is, when I was checking this, it was relatively new, so nobody knew about it. So now we already like 2 years later, and you see that, big organization already know it, and they're also improving the new versions to Maven. By the way, you can also do that with Gradle. It's the same drill, kind of. But then, like, we checked our code, we checked the network, data center, but end users is the most important. What can we do? What can you do? There's a green software training you can follow. It's free. You can follow that one. It doesn't hurt, and you can enroll it today. It's a course where you can learn the basic concepts of software practitioner and thinking how to build, maintain and run green applications. Who's using Ecosia? Nice. For the rest, you can just book, or you can just have it in your settings, and you can put it there. And what they do, Ecosia, differently than Google. Google earn on marketing. So if you click on a link, they earn money on it. And with Ecosia, they have it also. But only the money is not going to the pockets of the rich people. It's going to planting trees. So that's pretty nice, mostly. But yeah, I saw someone like, no, that's not completely true. But yeah, that's like a drill, and they're planting trees, and that's pretty nice, I think. Also, if you check the data centers, if you go to this website, for example, you can already see, like, hey, in Australia, you can at best use this application or data center. Netherlands. Like here, we have 50. So this is already checking, like, hey, am I running on a green host? You can already check, like, hey, a bit and see, all kind of things that are green. And what mostly nice is the data center has the energy, and the warmth is going to the houses. For example, near Amsterdam, you have a data center, and the warmth is going to the houses. So it's kind of green, it's better. It's not perfect, but it's something, so that's pretty cool. There are also books you can follow. There's a building green software, sustainable software architecture, and we have sustainable software development. So those books are, it's worth reading. And what about AI? Yeah, what do you think? Yeah, it's a lot of ChatGPT. If you look at that, 500 tons of CO2. That's really a big. So the coming times, we need to think about how to be greener with AI. There's not a solution yet, but we need, we can ask ChatGPT, like, hey, how can we become greener? But that will be an issue if we look up front. So if we need to think about certain things, like, we need to do something about that. There's not one answer, but we need also to embrace AI and to work with it. So that's some issues we are facing in the future, I think. So our 3 takeaways are, you need to think about an eco-friendly architecture. On every layer you can do something, and a tiny change can already make a difference, like reducing your image. That's already a thing. Just compress one file and you already have a better sustainable application. Measure everything. You can use CO2.js, or you can use Website Carbon, or you can use a Chrome Web Store to measure your website. Small enhancement, downsizing. You can think about caching. There's even HTTP caching if you want. That kind of things already help. Like if you do 1 million times a call to a backend system and it only changes once a year, then maybe you need to think about caching. Like, hey, I am doing this call only in the night, or that kind of things, because it's then most likely that it changed. So you're already reducing there and saving money for the company. And then I have a free ticket. So that's the really nice thing about this. I am going to give you 1 free ticket for the people that make a photo of the QR code. There's some people didn't have the time to make a photo of it. You wanted to see it, yeah? So I have here, so on the first slide. So, yes. So if you fill in your name, I have a lucky winner. Fox Days Amsterdam, the 3rd of April, 2025. Check the website, check the speakers, really awesome speakers, and I will give a free ticket. So that's pretty cool to do. So let's go. I'm going to go to a website. Where is it? Here. So we have 6 people, so that's nice. Some more, maybe? No? 7? Oh, do I need to wait? I wait 1 minute. Oh, sorry about that. That was not my attention. Sorry about it. 10, nice. 12, that's going hard. Nice. 14, I wait a little bit more. So, okay. 14. Someone busy still? One minute left and then 15. Welk plaatje was dat? Oh ja, de vraag bedoel je, deze. Oh, nou, dat gaat niet helemaal goed. Ik moet eventjes kijken naar de, anders ga ik weer dingen exposen, dat wil ik niet. So, ik heb een wheel of names. Susanna was already there to, through LinkedIn. So, sorry? Yeah, correct. Because I had a LinkedIn post, and I asked there who will want to win a ticket, and she actually saw it, and that's an extra chance. But yeah. So yeah, let's start the draw. Kees, congratulations! You won a ticket to Fox Days. Congratulations. Yeah, you can collect it afterwards. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, no problem. Congratulations also. And do I have a last slide? Yes, I have. Thank you for your attention. And if you have questions, now is the time. I see a question there. And there.
It's about the tool you showed for the website.
Yeah?
What about recurring visitors? Because if you say, okay, I have 1 million visitors,
Yeah?
and then you could multiply it, but if someone comes back, the images are cached normally with the browser.
True.
What's the impact on the rating, or how do you say it?
That's a good question. I don't know how the CO2.js does that. It's mostly looking from the backend side, I think. Yeah, I check. I need to check. I don't know, but yeah, I can imagine that it's a little bit in the middle there. So no, yeah, I need to research also. I don't know. Sorry, I need to check. That's a direct question. Yeah.
You talked about enabling the dark mode for your website.
Yeah.
But as a developer, you forgot to enable dark mode in your IntelliJ.
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah. I should do that. It starts with myself, indeed. Yeah, but mostly what I'm doing it if I'm presenting and it's a lot of white space, people don't see it. So that's actually my excuse, but you're actually right. Yeah. So use dark mode for your IntelliJ. Thank you for the tip. It's cool. Who is using dark mode here? Nice. For the few, nice. If I'm developing, I'm mostly using indeed the theme, the dark theme, Darkular. Yeah, absolutely right. Nice. Yeah, good point. Another question, yeah.
Can I ask a critical, maybe a controversial question?
Oh, no, it's interesting, yeah.
Is it ethical to build something really sustainable if you know that it will be less accessible for a lot of people? For example, reducing images,
Yeah.
not the size, but having less images on your site, make it harder to comprehend. And like the dark mode, if you think about people with aging, for them, bright mode,
Yeah.
compare it more to the world of paper, so make it more easy for them. So is it ethical to make it sustainable if you're doing some practices that make it less accessible?
Cool. Can we be ethical if you want to make it more sustainable? If you compare, yeah, it's a good question. I think it's a mix. Yeah, it depends. Sorry about the answer, but I think we certainly need to think about accessibility. Definitely. Yeah, there's not a right answer here. I think we should take care of it, but we need to be somewhere in the middle. Like, yeah. We don't need to forget that kind of audience. I think they are very important and we need to think about that. Yes, definitely. So yeah, I'm agreeing with you there. We need to find a mix to be more sustainable. Let your work be testing by people that are less accessible or like, yeah. So, but yeah. Other questions? Then we are in time. Perfect. Thank you for your attention and I hope you enjoy JFall. Thanks.